In boxing, Showtime is the A side. CBS and Showtime, they came to me for another big deal. I'm like, I can't put no more money in the vault.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. is suing Showtime and Steven Espinoza, the former head of Showtime Sports, for hundreds of millions of dollars that he claims are unaccounted for.
In a move that has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has just filed a massive lawsuit against Showtime Networks and its former president, Steven Espinoza. The claim? A staggering $340 million in career earnings has allegedly vanished into thin air. This isn't just a business dispute. It's an accusation of an elaborate, long-running scheme of financial fraud of one of the most successful athletes in combat sports history.
And you know Floyd Mayweather as probably the richest and one of the most dominant boxers in the history of the sport. But now, Floyd is stepping into the courtroom to fight for money he claims that he was never paid, and he wants justice on his terms.
There will never be a fighter that's on my level because you have to be able to go where I go mentally. And it's hard for anybody to be on my level mentally because I think outside the box. That's why I'm always doing record-breaking numbers. That's why I'm always doing record-breaking things.
The heart of this legal storm centers on the massive pay-per-view events that define the modern era of boxing. We're talking about the blockbuster fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, events that practically printed money. But according to the lawsuit filed in California, a significant portion of those funds never actually hit Floyd's bank account. Instead, Mayweather alleges that Showtime and Espinoza conspired to divert hundreds of millions of dollars into accounts controlled by his former advisor, Al Heymon.
On February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heymon, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for, and he's now suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud. Ooh, that's a serious accusation there. Conversion, unjust enrichment, and he's seeking punitive damage on top of the missing $340 million. So why is Floyd suing him and what is he claiming? Well, Floyd argues that during his legendary career, where he generated $1 billion in revenue plus and pay-per-view money, a significant portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heymon. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heymon get the money instead of paying Floyd directly. The lawsuit also points to some of boxing's biggest pay-per-view fights, including fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, events that generated hundreds of millions in revenue. Mayweather's legal team said he generated hundreds of millions in revenue for Showtime and now wants to recover what he claims was unfairly taken. So just a little side note here for some of you guys that haven't been following the sport for the last 10, 15 years and may be asking, who's Steven Espinoza? Like you're aware of Showtime. There's still a network. Showtime Boxing is now defunct, but Steven Espinoza used to be the head of Showtime Sports. So Espinoza played a key role in getting Mayweather to leave HBO and come to the network, Showtime Boxing at the time a few years back. Now, he's played just a lot of key roles in boxing over the years, including being crucial to a lot of the biggest fights in the last 10, 15 years of boxing. And he was in charge of Showtime's boxing operations from 2018 until the division shut down in 2023. Now, Mayweather is alleging that Espinoza and Showtime actively participated in the misdirection of his earnings and are responsible for helping Heymon carrying out this alleged financial scheme.
The lawsuit pulls back the curtain on a decade of dominance. While Floyd was winning in the ring, he was being drained behind the scenes. After Floyd parted ways with his old management team, his new lawyers requested to see Showtime's financial records to verify the payouts from his biggest fights. The response they allegedly received sounds like something out of a movie. The network claimed those critical documents were either lost in a flood or simply inaccessible. For a billion-dollar network to claim its records were washed away is a red flag that Floyd's legal team is now using as a centerpiece of their fraud and conspiracy allegations. But here is where the story gets even more mysterious. While the lawsuit claims Heymon was the primary architect of this financial drain, he isn't actually named as a defendant. Instead, Floyd is aiming directly at Showtime and Espinoza.
It's possible that it's the reality. It's possible that Floyd Mayweather is suing Showtime. And this is massive because Mayweather left HBO to Showtime and they did a lot of major fights together. Major. Like you're talking about the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. It was a joint HBO and Showtime. You're talking about all of Mayweather-McGregor was a Showtime fight. So some of the biggest fights in Floyd's career were on Showtime. Floyd is suing for $340 million. $340 million. Will they settle and give him like 100 or 200 million to go away? Will they take it to court and risk losing even more?
Why target the network and not the man who allegedly took the money? Some insiders speculate that Floyd might be hesitant to go after Heymon directly due to their deep history, while others suggest this is a strategic move to force the network to expose the paper trail. By suing for aiding and abetting a breach of fiduciary duty, Floyd is essentially claiming that Showtime didn't just watch the money disappear, they helped hand it over.
Heymon was so good at his job that he was clowning these networks. He was out negotiating the networks to the point where they were giving you an inferior product because his fighters were getting overpaid for lesser fights.
We weren't getting overpaid.
In that,
we weren't getting
I'm
overpaid.
happy for every dollar made.
Freddie Hernandez.
Yeah, right.
This is the golden child of Al Heymon right here.
But it is admirable that Al Heymon not only did his job so well, but was helping fighters get rich while he was doing it. He created a climate where fighters started to begin to believe that they were worth more money. I don't mean to me. You're worth all the money in the world to me, the fighters. But I mean to the marketplace than they actually were. And so now it became difficult to make fights.
You really want us to change our mindset, right? The fact that we were putting our health in jeopardy every time we stepped in that ring. So we had to make sure to get every penny that we could.
Yes.
Every time we stepped in there. I mean, that's the mindset that he put in our minds on a regular basis.
And good for him. But when he does his job that well, then Andre Berto doesn't have to take the best fights to make the money, and now me as the consumer doesn't get to see the best Andre Berto fights. My point is, fighters started thinking that the market was different than it really was, because Al was juicing the market. In that climate, big fights stopped getting made, because fighters are thinking, I'm making all this money for not taking a risk. You want me to fight that killer, or their managers want me to fight that killer for not much more money? Into that terrible situation for the consumer stepped Turkey Al-Sheikh, who said, oh, okay, wait, what are your petty differences? It's over $1 million or $2 million? Here it is. Here's my gift to the boxing world. Everyone, take this fight. Now the problem is...
But he's overpaying. Like I said, I'm not mad at that. If you're going to give me the money, we're going to fight whoever you want me to fight.
But Dre, now the problem is... Boots and Virgil can't get made for $6 million plus for the fighters? You think the average person on the street in this country knows who Boots and Virgil are?
In boxing, Showtime is the A side. CBS and Showtime, they came to me for another big deal. I'm like, I can't put no more money in the vault. You know, we about to make the earth flip upside down. Y'all give me some more money. I want them to write the check. You know what I've learned, throughout the years, and I said this before, a boxer make money when he's boxing. A dentist make money when he's working on teeth. A car salesman makes money when he's selling cars. But New York real estate, you make money when you sleep.
That's right. Tell us about that watch, Floyd, really quick.
Oh, this is just, just a little summer look, little bright colors. I got these like Miami colors, bright colors, happy colors. Why should I be mad? A little G-Shock, but I done it a little bit different. I made it rose gold, put a couple rubies right here. It's 1042, kind of late, but dinner time. We in Sin City, we don't sleep, we don't have a ball tonight.
This legal battle marks a cold end to what was once the most powerful partnership in sports. Espinoza was the man who famously lured Floyd away from HBO, promising him a level of wealth and control that no fighter had ever seen. For years, they were seen side by side at every press conference, the architects of the money brand. Now, that relationship has been reduced to allegations of unjust enrichment and conversion, a legal term for theft. The timing is also crucial. With Showtime Boxing officially shutting down in 2023, the shield of a functioning sports division is gone, leaving the paper trail, or what's left of it, exposed to the light. The implications of this case go far beyond Floyd's bank account. If the richest athlete in the world can be swindled out of $340 million under the nose of a major network, what does that mean for every other fighter in the industry?
And I feel like you can't go wrong with New York real estate. So what I did was, in one of my portfolios, because I don't know the exact number, because they said if you know how much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings. So I think I own right now somewhere upwards of 100 buildings or more. And in 99% of my buildings are in New York City.
Wow.
Yes.
I also want to say a cool thing I saw that you did. You donated millions of money and buildings to victims of the LA wildfires. And I saw that. That was a cool thing you did.
I feel like if you're in a position to give back, why not?
This lawsuit threatens to blow the lid off the shadow financial relationships that govern boxing, where advisors and networks often move money through complex systems that fighters rarely understand. Floyd isn't just seeking his missing millions. He's asking for punitive damages to punish the defendants for what his team calls a calculated betrayal.
The lawsuit could have some pretty serious implications, not only for Floyd's legacy, but also for how networks and advisors handle fighter compensations. Mayweather wants hundreds of millions back plus punitive damages, pushing this beyond a simple accounting dispute. If the court rules in his favor, it could open the door to more scrutiny of boxing's behind-the-scenes financial relationships. So this is kind of nuts, man. Wow, taken aback, surprised by this. I'm thinking, how did Floyd come to this? Like, did he ask for an audit of like prior books? Like, I'm real curious about that point. Like, how, according to him, allegedly, this all happened and how he became aware? Was it something where books were made available, or he's going through his own accounting, or if a third party came in and was like, hey, you need to ask for an audit for reporting of revenue that came from all these events, and they figured on their own, like, hey, you're short a couple $100 million. It's nuts. It's really crazy, actually, because like up to this point, it seemed that Floyd and Espinoza had a really good relationship. I would imagine this probably caught Espinoza off guard. We haven't seen much of Steven since the closure of Showtime Boxing. I know he was doing some consulting work for PBC in terms of the production and getting the production up and running for their shows that they have on Amazon Prime. But naming him on the lawsuit, wow, and not naming Heymon, that's another interesting thing, because you would think Heymon as the advisor, the manager, would be, and this is just me thinking, like, somehow would be involved with it. No, or I don't know how the exchanging of money was going, but all this is pretty nuts.
As the case moves forward, the boxing world is watching to see if Floyd can secure one last W in the most expensive fight of his life. For a man who retired with a perfect 50-0 record, the stakes have never been higher. This isn't about a belt or a legacy. It's about the very thing he built his name on. Will he recover the $340 million, or will the truth remain buried in those lost documents? One thing is certain. The man who never lost in the ring is refusing to go down without a fight in the courtroom. So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.